Do you ever feel like the world is going at 2x speed and you're stuck at 0.5? We've all been told, work hard, hustle more, no pain, no gain. But what if I told you that you could actually do less and earn more? Don't be a hamster. Now, this might sound too good to be true, but hear me out. Outsource like a CEO. Think of yourself as the director of a movie. You can't act, direct, hold the clicky thing, and serve popcorn at the same time. There's a reason that Steven Spielberg does not do that. So we need to act like that director and delegate. Find people who are better at acting than us. We need to find ways to outsource the stuff we are not good at so we can spend more time at the things we are naturally good at. It's this idea that I've really been leaning into recently of embracing your strengths and just like avoiding your weaknesses.
Forget about it.
Oh, work on your weaknesses. That's dumb. That's like literally trying to work on things that you don't come naturally to, you don't enjoy, it ruins your day. It's just a waste of time. Somebody else can do it 3 times faster. So just avoid that stuff and find the things you're really good at and just do more of those, and you can make more money from that. You can hire out people to do the rest. In fact, Harvard Business Review stated that CEOs who delegate generate 33% more revenue than those who micromanage. So before you think, I've got this, I can do it all, think about what can I actually not do. Look at the tasks that you have and see if there's any that you can not do or have somebody else do. The old 20-minute rule, actually. I don't know if it's old, I think I just invented it. This is just the idea of setting firm deadlines with time limits. When I'm starting a project, I always overthink it. I try to wait till everything's perfect to get started, but recently I've just been making kind of crappy stuff. And actually I read this book called The Minimalist Entrepreneur. And in that book, there's a quote that really stuck out to me. It says, "You don't learn, then start, you start and then learn." And doing this has actually saved me a lot more time. Instead of researching how to write a perfect newsletter, spending hours, weeks, or months on the name of it, all this stuff, I decided it was an outlet that I wanted to have. I wanted to share some weekly books that I'm reading, some productivity tips, some money hacks that don't really make it into the videos. So I just created it. You can sign up down below, it's free. And the first one was not that good. And the second one was a little bit better. Third one, definitely getting there. And I'm learning on the job because I need to figure out, all right, how do I add a hyperlink? All right, how do I design this better because it looks horrible? All right, how do I add more value here? How do I make this easier to read? And instead of waiting till I was perfectly ready and wasting hundreds of hours, I just did it and I found out on the way. I do this with everything now. If you're waiting till you have the perfect name, the perfect website, the perfect idea, it's just never gonna happen. You're wasting your time. Either start on whatever you're thinking about or just give up. But something that you shouldn't give up on is having your money make more money. This is something that a lot of people don't think that they can do. They think that investing and having their money go out and make more money is something they can't really do, and therefore they just waste the money that they do have. They don't think about their future, and a lot of it comes down to not knowing what to do and then thinking that investing is too complex, which is where Webull, the sponsor of this video, actually helped me make a lot of progress. If you don't know what Webull is personally where I buy all my stocks. They also have a cash management account where they offer 5% APY on your money. So if you don't know where to start investing yet, you can always put it in that and be earning 5% on your money, which is like way more than you get just sitting in a checkings account or at like a normal bank. And then once you decide what type of investor you want to be, Webull can pretty much make that happen. They have 0% commissions on stocks, ETFs, and options. They have multiple different products and platforms. Personally, what I do is just invest in low cost index funds. So this is like VTI, the S&P 500. I keep it really simple. I also opened up a Roth IRA on there, one for me, one for my wife. I have an investment account. That was super simple to do. It's all very easy to use. You can use it on an app, on your desktop, or just on the web. And well, it's simple enough that you can just get in as a beginner and just start investing, start having your money make more money. It also has a lot of more advanced options. You can get up to 12 free fractional shares with any amount that you deposit, and each share is valued at up to $3,000. So check them out. There's a link down below, or you can go to webull.com/GabeBolt exclusive and get started today. Which reminds me, be lazy. Don't get me wrong, I've worked extremely hard on a bunch of different jobs. I've done landscaping, concrete, office cleaning. I was a real estate agent for a while.
Mary,
Alexa, stop. I had other jobs, but it turns out that working harder was the worst thing that I ever did. That sounds really weird. A lot of times when we don't have money, we often think I need to work harder. But if you want to create kind of exponential growth in your income, that's not going to be the solution. Because if you go the work harder route, in order to make more money, you're going to have to put in more hours until you're eventually working 80 hours a week. Your family resents you. You have no fun. You end up overweight, dying of a heart attack. Instead, we need to work smarter. And that might mean moving careers. I moved into real estate, and that didn't really work out all that well. But then I started other businesses, and while I did have to work really hard, it's working hard for something that has exponential upside. Like when I got into acting, I spent like 50 hours learning how to act by watching a couple courses. I joined an agency, and now like my minimum is like $1,500 a day, which I might only do once a month, once every other month, but that still would have taken me a week to earn at my other job. And then with YouTube, it's something similar where I can create something that will pay me pretty much indefinitely. For other people, it's creating a business and then hiring people out under them. If you're just working extremely hard at a job that doesn't ever allow you to take a step back, then you should probably shift that hard work into something else that will eventually allow you to take a step back. So if you don't have that option, you need to really reconsider like what you're doing with your life if that's something that you want. Geo arbitrage. This is why I recommend to so many people to try to find a way to make money online so you're not tied down to a singular location. If you're making $50,000 in the US, that might not feel like a lot of money, especially with inflation right now. But if you move to a different state, that might feel like a ton of money. But if you move to a different country, you might feel like you're just like rolling in the dough. You're living in pizza for the rest of your life, all because you moved your location. Your income stayed the exact same. But like literally, it's almost cheaper for me to travel, get to see the world, visit some different countries than it is for me to live where I live. And since I've been working remotely, I've been doing that a little bit, but that's one way to actually raise your income. You're doing the exact same amount of work, but the value of your money goes up by like a lot. By the way, if you're enjoying this and getting any value, it would mean a ton if you could drop a like and subscribe. Einstein once said, "A man who can drive safely while kissing a pretty girl is not giving the kiss the attention it deserves." This whole myth of multitasking has been debunked over and over again. It's been shown that multitasking reduces productivity by like 40%. It's about trying to do one thing with like singular focus. Like the saying goes, the shortest way to do something is to only do one thing at a time. I think we all know this, but there are a few little things we can do to really kickstart that. For me, it's going outside, it's going to a coffee shop, it's moving from my office down to the kitchen, it's putting my phone away, it's turning off all alerts, sometimes even shutting off my Wi-Fi if I'm trying to write so that I can't access anything on my computer. Generally, in like an hour, I can get down to 3 hours worth of work if I'm actually completely focused. The 80-20 rule, or even a little bit more extreme. I personally like the 90% rule from Essentialism, but the 80-20 rule, or Pareto's principle, has proved to be effective over most areas of our lives. 20% of the clients are gonna be 80% of the headache, 80% of the income is gonna come from 20% of the clients, and in our lives, this is also true. And most of us have heard this rule, but we need to actually put it into action. So how do you do that? I would recommend taking a day and actually keeping track of everything that you do, writing it down. It's gonna be a complete headache for one day, but should save you like thousands of hours over the course of your life if you actually follow through on this. So you write down everything you do for a day, and then you take a few minutes the next day and you look at like what tasks actually led to success. Which things did I do that didn't lead to anything? What were the main successes? What habits did I do before that? And you find that 20% that is super, super important. You focus all of your energy on that, and you ruthlessly cut out as much of the other stuff as you can. There's gonna be an insane amount of time wasters that you'll find doing that as well that can save you hours every single day, whether that's people, technology, whatever it is, you're gonna find it. That's all I got. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next week.